Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes. And now, a guy living in his own personal amen corner, J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour on this Thursday, April 10th. We've got a busy hour ahead. The offseason program is underway. Players are here. They're running and jumping and lifting and moving and doing some, not even really football things yet. A lot of culture building going on around here. Liam Cohen spoke with the media yesterday. We'll hear some of his comments from the Jaguars head coach, as did Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback, and Foye Oluokun, Jaguars linebacker. We'll have the comments, both of those guys, coming up shortly. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, all the places. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon, JP.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Haven't seen you since last week.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? Been a minute?
Yeah, been 6 days.
Yeah.
Or so.
Almost, how many hours is that?
I don't know math. I was told there would be none today.
Yeah, it's been a while. No, it's been a good week, though, since the last time I saw you.
A lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
Actually, something going on is
well, I figured there was something going on when my phone started to ring, and SiriusXM NFL Radio wanted to do some interviews.
Wow,
okay. Maybe they want to talk a little bit about Jaguar stuff.
What were they interested in?
So I got just about the general vibe of the new regime, the structure of the new regime, how everybody's going to fit together. What does that mean for Trevor Lawrence? I mean, all those kind of things. People just want to know. It's football. And when teams start the OTAs, it creates more football news. And I know as a player, it's kind of like the first day back to school. You know, I mean, you get to see the guys you haven't seen in a while, get to hang out together a little bit, get to compete a little bit in the weight room. It's good stuff.
Some new teachers for the class?
Well, and that's the most important thing because, I mean, it's, when you walk in a building, everybody's kind of coming in renewed, refreshed. And on top of that, with a blank slate, so to speak.
Yes, absolutely.
And what I mean by that is that you now have a new set of eyes that is going to be evaluating you and where you're at. And whatever eyes looked at you in the past and their opinion doesn't matter. So the film kind of speaks a little bit for the opinions to be shaped on the people that are now in the building. But a lot of times they have that as a reference, but they don't turn to it as the gospel. You have to create your own now. And that's the way it should be. And I think that that's the exciting part. And I think it's a little nerve-wracking for some guys because they don't know where they stand.
That's what it is.
Part of the deal, though. It's football. It means you got to prove yourself every day.
You're only as good as your last game on tape, right?
Well, I mean, the reality is, you can kind of prove it, but at the end of the day, you're really not proving it until you're getting back on the grass in front of a big fan base and lights are on or not on. If it's 1 o'clock kick, that type of situation.
Part of it for a new coaching staff, of course, is establishing the culture, how you want to operate as a football team.
That's the interesting part to me.
Day after day.
How do you do that?
Well, we heard from Liam Cohen, oddly enough, yesterday. He spoke with the media.
Okay.
It was a big topic of conversation. We know his acronym FAST to talk about the mentality he wants around the team. It stands for fundamentally sound, attacking, situational masters, and tough, both mentally and physically. The toughness part is one of the things he was asked about. How do you establish that this time of year?
I know that this is not a physical time. It can't be and it isn't. But the establishing of the mindset, the way that we're going to do things, the way that we want the meetings, like Coach Camp brought up today, our meetings should be tough, right? Like we're learning new information. It's all very new for everybody. That's hard. It's hard to do for a coach, for a player. It's hard to learn. So when you do hard things and you come out on the other end, usually you say, well, I got tougher from that.
All right, that's this time of year toughness, right? And then it becomes, once you start on the field, situational, actually moving people around and changing the way this football team operates?
Well, first, a little explanation there. He says Coach Camp, and I'm assuming that's Coach Anthony Campanelli, the defensive coordinator.
Correct.
And it is tough for some guys to learn a new system because some guys have been in a system for a long period of time, and kind of that lingo, that language is ingrained in their head, and you've got to kind of wipe it clean and start fresh and start new. I don't know if I'd necessarily say that it's hard to learn football. It's kind of football, and football's not necessarily that hard. Now, let me correct myself here. If you're a quarterback and you're learning the offense,
for a third time in 5 years in the league.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And Trevor hasn't had the opportunity to probably learn much of the offense yet. So this is going to be a tough, challenging time for Trevor to kind of digest that offense and to be able to speak the language as fast as possible, because he's the leader of the ship on the field, and he's got to be able to communicate that language. And until you get your quarterback to be able to speak that language, it's probably going to be more difficult. So that, I think, is imperative to get started and get rolling quickly.
Another part of this time of year, of course, it's phase 1 of the offseason program. That means strength and conditioning only, very limited amount of time each day the players can be in the building, and even less of time they can actually be on the field, only with strength and conditioning coaches. That whole staff is new as well.
Right.
And Liam Cohen asked how they get established in the weight room.
There's no pre-existing just thoughts about anybody. It's just, hey, man, this is how we're doing it. These are the things that we're going to do, while also gearing it towards, at some point here, individual development plans for each player. So as we go, we're setting the standards in the weight room, how we want to operate. Skills will lift this way, the big skill here, and the bigs they all have different weights and things that they're doing, but the mode of operation, the standard, the communication will all be similar. So I think it's actually great that they are starting from scratch and having those relationships be able to be fostered. And then as we grow, get to know each other a little bit more, those IDPs will become a little bit more common.
It's all new, especially down in the weight room, and that they're the only coaches on staff that can be out on the field with the players this time of year.
Yeah, that's for general conditioning stuff, no football stuff whatsoever. But kind of funny story when Liam's talking about the strength and conditioning aspect. Different guys, players use different weights. They have it custom tailored to the individual, which kind of position group wise, right? I'll never forget, going back to the very first year of the organization in 1995, and we had our strength and conditioning coach was Jerry Palmieri, and Jerry's great, love him, great guy, soldier all the way, Jaguars strength coach, the original one, loved him, right?
Okay.
So JP, just thinking out loud here, okay, if I've got offensive linemen, okay, over here doing squats and hang cleans, do I want Trevor Lawrence or Mark Brunell doing squats or hang cleans?
Probably not to that effect of what those guys are doing.
Hell no, I don't want my quarterback doing a hang clean or squats.
Squats now. If you're a running quarterback these days, Jalen Hurts probably does some squats.
Well, look, that's Jalen Hurts. But and I'm okay with squats and controlled weight, so making sure very strict.
This guy was making Brunell do squats and hang cleans?
I'm telling you, Brunell hurt his back, I think it was in 95, because he was doing hang cleans.
Come on.
And I was like, what are we doing? Why do we have our quarterback doing hang cleans? Hang cleans, you kind of get the weight right below your knees, and then you snatch it, and then you fold your forearms up under the weight, and puts a lot of pressure on your wrists.
You kind of need those.
Last time I checked, look, that's $1 million wrist that we're doing hang cleans with. What are we doing, Jerry? And he ended up getting, I can't remember if it was a back or something, he got hurt. And then it all changed. Mark wasn't doing hang cleans anymore after that. But I was sitting there thinking, looking at Mark in the weight room doing hang cleans and squats and all this stuff, and I was like, what are we doing? do we really want our starting quarterback or potential starting quarterback? Because the starting quarterback at that time was going to be Steve Beuerlein. But yeah, it was a bit of a mess. But we dialed it in a little bit better later on.
And by the way, I mean,
but that was part of the culture building process with Coughlin.
Okay.
Now we all are going to work.
We
all are going to work, but you have to work smart. You can't just all work the same. It just doesn't work because position groups are different.
And by the way, I mean, since 1995, I don't have to tell you or anybody, I mean, technology has changed too. And the way they can track and change and miles per hour and GPS and everything in the conditioning phase of this.
Diet analysis, diet composition, the technology that is in sports recovery. I mean, it's just completely different. Not even close to what it was in 95. And we didn't have cryo chambers. We didn't have, what's that thing, the thing you can sleep in? It's like a hyperbaric chamber. Yeah. We didn't have hell, we had to have trash cans for an ice tub back in 95. Now they have cold tubs.
Hot tub, cold tub.
That you ask the players not to pee in.
Please preferably. Do not.
We had that violated one time. I won't name
some names.
I will not name names.
Are they still around?
Yeah, you might be. Yeah, we had. That was one of the funniest moments ever.
I don't even.
You want to hear the story?
I mean,
I'm not gonna call them out.
I mean, how did you find out anyway?
So we had.
I mean, I don't even want to know
JP,
how you knew.
Okay, here's the story. So we're in the cold tub, which this cold tub was like a hot tub, right? You stand in, it's very cold. But it's cold. And we're all just sitting in there. And look, the rule of thumb is, look, don't come in there naked. Nobody wants to see you.
No, it's fair.
Okay, take a shower before you get in.
Good idea.
So that we don't dirty the cold tub. Okay, it's not a bathtub.
Yep.
It's a cold tub. So we're all sitting in there, and all of a sudden I look over, and there's a yellow cloud around this guy. I swear, kid you not. I mean, I'm talking, he must have been really dehydrated because it was a dark yellow cloud.
Oh, boy.
And I turn and look, and I said, hey, so-and-so, are you kidding me? Right? And of course,
as you exited the pool,
I started immediately calling him out.
Did you stay in the pool or did you get out?
No, I told him to get out.
Did you get out?
JP,
did you just,
yeah, I got out. I'm not going to hang out in his urine.
I don't care if he stays or not. If that cloud's coming my way, I'm running.
I got out.
I'm out of here.
I got out. Okay, I'm not going to hang out in his urine. Sorry. Okay?
Good idea.
Okay, I don't care how much chlorine is in there. I'm not going to be in there. So fast forward a little bit. I went to Coughlin, and I said, look, we have a player that
you're the tattletale.
Urinated in the cold tub.
Okay.
And he would like to speak to the team. Okay? And so I made him get up in front of the team and read a prepared speech. Kid you not. And it started out, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I have a urination problem.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah. Oh, he had to do it in front of the whole team, the whole staff.
Was that the penalty, or was there a fine on top of that?
No, there was no fine, but he had to admit what he had done. He had to admit that he had a problem that he was going to seek help for. I wrote a whole speech out for him. I figured that, doing that was way better than, instituting a kangaroo court fine. Shaming him in front of his peers, or letting him shame himself in front of his peers.
I mean, if it worked or didn't work, if I see him coming towards the cold
tub, he never
urinated
in the cold tub
guess what?
again.
If I see him coming towards the tub, I'm out of there. No chance. I'm not risking it.
Trust me, he was actually banned from the cold tub for a period of time.
You stay in your own trash can outside.
Oh,
brutal.
Yeah, we actually and we came up with a nickname for him, and it had the word tinkle in it.
Oh, man. Now, if that doesn't sell season tickets, I don't know what will. The new season is right around the corner. Get those 2025 season ticket memberships now, and you can be at the bank for every touchdown. And secure your seats at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Are you crying? He is crying.
That was funny.
That was
It was a funny moment. I mean, it was, it was back in the early days, and it was, it was crazy.
Let's come back and hear from the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence spoke with the media yesterday. Some highlights, including footwork under construction. On 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube, this is Jaguars Happy Hour.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, that's what happens on 47,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious Fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hi, my name is Charlie Jordan, and I'm the manager of social media for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So as manager of social media, we serve as a bridge between the fans and the franchise. And so my passion is rooted in being a fan, but I also get to work with the team each day. The Bright Future Scholarship was huge for me because I was able to pursue an education at the University of Florida. And because I didn't have to worry about paying for classes, I could spend my time covering the sports teams that I work around. I'm extremely grateful for the Bright Future Scholarship and the Florida Lottery specifically for allowing me to earn an education.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with Everbank. Open an Everbank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I've been here a lot just because of rehab and stuff and trying to get my shoulder healthy. And so I've been around this offseason a lot more than maybe even typically. So just to have all the guys back in the building just bring some energy and some juice. And I know from a player standpoint, everybody's excited. Everybody in the locker room's pumped to be back. And then, the coaching side, you can feel the energy and the excitement. And those guys are up here working all off season, trying to get everything ready. So they're chomping at the bit by the time we get in because they get to actually do what they love and coach and have the players around. So I think there's a good balance of just everybody's excited and very optimistic and a lot of energy.
That's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Jaguars football is presented by Fresh from Florida. It's always in season. The offseason program underway. We're at the Hyundai Studios inside the Miller Electric Center, a busy place with all the players back in now. We're on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. Coming up, we'll hear from Foye Oluokun, Jaguars linebacker, but there's a quarterback and no brace on his left arm. Remember, he had the sling going on after the shoulder stuff going on this offseason. That's a good sign. He said he's going to be in a little bit of a pitch count some as this offseason goes along. There's no real rush. I mean, it's a long way to September, but there will be a process to really get him back fully engaged and everything. But the time is not now for that. But, hey, it's good to see him out of that sling and in good spirits moving ahead to this offseason program. And a very important one for him, as we talked about a minute ago, learning this offense and the terminology and everything that goes with it is a challenge.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest for a quarterback. For like linemen, it's not that hard, to be honest with you.
Block that guy.
Yeah, and but first of all, I'm glad that he was able to rehab here. I mean, I always believed that the best rehab you can get is with the team, and this team has a great medical staff and great medical department. And Robbie, who is the rehab specialist, he's amazing. I've rehabbed with him before. He's simply amazing. So they got a great system in place when it comes to that. So good that he was here. And the pitch count thing, I think, is absolutely a good thing. I mean, what's the rush, right? I mean, work him back in at a casual rate, not casual, but at a smart rate, I think is the better way to describe that. And there's plenty of time to get them. And the reality is that there are a lot of restrictions on the OTAs and the pace of the OTAs and what you can and can't do. And I think a lot of that is naturally going to keep that to a controlled, I guess. The environment will be controlled because of what you can and can't do. Yeah. But the good thing, again, going back to this, is that, look, it's a non-throwing shoulder, even though everything affects the throwing motion of a quarterback because it's all a balanced thing. But I expect it to make a full recovery and should have no issues whatsoever moving forward, and that's a real positive.
Liam Cohen yesterday talked a little bit about the work on Trevor Lawrence's footwork that could be ahead, and then in Trevor Lawrence's part of the press conference, he was asked about that and what needs to be done about his footwork in the pocket.
The system is built around timing and tying your feet to your progression and playing on time. And so it allows you to get backside, allows you to get to check downs or whatever it may be, and you can feel comfortable playing on time. And more than any system I've ever learned, it's structured and based on that. And it's so everything's tied exactly to, all right, this route is on this timing, so then your next progression is off of this footwork, off this timing. So it all ties in perfect. You don't have multiple routes declaring at the same time, which is hard as a quarterback because then you're sitting back there and you got to make a decision before really the guy's open or covered, So I think they've done a really good job with this system of really thinking through how does it tie into a quarterback's feet, and that's what we've been talking about. And it takes some work and, flipping my stance, just some little things like that are small that many people wouldn't notice, but it is, I have so many banked reps of the other way. I got to just get all these on my own and work them. So once camp comes around, I'm ready to go.
Everything starts with the foundation, the base for the quarterback, and that's the footwork. Leads to everything else. I
think there's no doubt. And a lot of times when you watch a quarterback's feet, a lot of times you can tell whether or not there's confidence and an understanding of the system. And if the feet look good, typically the player's in a good place mentally, but then also he's in a good place physically to be able to get the ball released and be accurate and on time. And so I like hearing that from Trevor. And the whole part that I like the most is that, and the thing that I really took from that is he talked about how your progression, you've got receivers that are coming open at different times so that you go to him, and then if he's not there, then you're turning to him, and then now he's coming open, but okay, he's not. Then I turn to number 3, and now he's supposed to be getting open. So not everybody's going open at the same time, and like Trevor was saying there, that you don't have to drop back and quickly figure out of those 3 guys which one needs to get the ball at point A, because there is only point A to release the ball, and then after that point it becomes off schedule. So I liked hearing that from him because I think that's a little bit revealing in what it was versus what it's going to be for him now. With it seems to be a system that's a little bit more quarterback friendly, and that's a positive. Especially if you get the running game going, everything gets more quarterback friendly.
This might be a question more for Udinski if we get him in here at some point. How do you build that? Like, is it a time, a by the second? Like, how do you know when somebody needs to break and how long
It's a great
they
question.
hold it?
I'd love to hear that answer, and I hope we can get them in here and ask that.
They may not give us the answer.
Yeah,
but,
maybe not.
I'm just curious how you identify timing.
Right.
When you're building an offense.
And I'm sure that what Trevor's alluding to is not necessarily the case all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's some of the plays that the progression is with, okay, the primary is supposed to get open now, and now the secondary option is going next, and then the third is going after that.
Like it takes X number of time to get 5 yards or whatever that is.
Right.
I don't know.
And I'm sure that, what Trevor is doing is slowing it down for us to understand it. Yeah. But there are probably split-second times between A to B to C, or a 1, 2, 3 option. You know what I mean?
It could change with coverage too, right? I mean,
Correct.
if the coverage is changing, then okay, we're that throws off the timing, and we're changing it. That's a lot.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, this is a big year for Trevor. I mean, it is. It's a big year. We got a new contract last year, a lot invested in him. Now on what I would consider his second head coach, because the first one I don't even factor that one in, because that was a complete washout with Urban. So this is a big year for Trevor. And when you're a first overall pick guy, I mean, there's pressure that comes with that, and that's just part of the territory. And Trevor's dealt with pressure his whole life. He's essentially been expected to be the guy and to lead his team at every level, and which he's expected to do here. And if there's anybody that's built to handle that, it's him. From a mental standpoint, I've never seen or listened to a quarterback that can handle it better than him. He's got a great mental makeup. And I'm looking forward to watching him this year under this system. And then also with some new weapons and some new guys up front.
Let's keep him healthy, right? I mean, that's just been the killer.
That's kind of goes to the guys up front.
Absolutely, it does.
Sure.
But part of it's him, too, the way he plays in certain style.
Well, he's
right?
got to protect himself.
That's right.
I
So
mean,
towards the end.
We go back to the
shoulder thing.
Yeah, I mean, help yourself out a little bit, right? I mean, and those guys up front need to help him out. And most importantly, I mean, the things that really rang true in my ears when Liam talked about at the owners' meeting about we've got to help him out. We've got to get a running game going. Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, and it was just so emphatic and so resolute the way he said it. And it's so true, because you heard me, JP, I won't use the one word, but complaining that this they got to be committed to the run more.
I wonder what word you were thinking of.
It starts with a B.
I'm aware, yeah.
And yeah.
Right. You got to get the run game helps everything.
And part of the problem goes back to when you wanted to run it, could you run it? No. Mm-mm. Look at all the short yardage situations. I mean, when you're dialing up these magical, crazy design plays on 3rd and 1, it means you can't run the ball when you need to. And the last couple of years, you got to get better than what they were, and they will get better.
Are they better interior now than they were?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
McCary, we'll find out.
I think, but look, until you line up and play some games, I mean, we'll find out then. And here's the reality: the rebuild or the build, whatever you want to call it, of this offensive line is not nearly complete. Good chance they even get one on day one. You don't know, but I think it's going to be interesting to see, because you've got to create competition. I like what they did in free agency, and that you brought in a guy that can handle the center job. You've brought in a guy that's played a lot of snaps and good ball, and McCary. But you're not done yet. You got a ways to go yet up front.
I meant to compliment you on your use of resolute. That's a good word.
Yeah. Every now and again,
not used too often.
Every now and again, I pull one out.
It's very Virginia of you.
I don't know about that.
It really is.
I don't know about that. It's somewhere in the back of the mind, it was just resting there. And the older you get, JP, the harder it is to go to the shelf to find words. You know what I mean? I actually had a long discussion with a mental health person. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. And this is a cool story. I'll tell you real quick, because there's a lot of people that are getting older, right? Like you.
We're all getting older.
We're all getting older. So the NFL has this thing for former players, and it's like a mind and body evaluation.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do it like every 5 years, and it's like, intense physical. When I say intense, it's not hard for me to do that.
It's just thorough.
It's very thorough. It's very complete. And part of it is like a mental health evaluation, and also where you are, where's your mind at, your recall, et cetera. And I was talking to this doctor, and they take you through these things, and they read these like 6 words, okay? Okay, we'll play the thing with JP, okay? Ready, JP? I'm going to give you 5 words, and I want you to repeat them back to me, okay? Underway, program, comments, talk, off-season, coming. Give them back to me.
I don't know if I can.
Exactly, right? And so I'm doing this thing, right? And I'm trying to remember all these words that he just threw at me, and I'm getting nervous. I'm like, God. And, because I have like testing anxiety sometimes or whatever. And so I told the guy, I said, I was so nervous. And this was after the fact. I did the test, and he said, you did great. And I was like, I had so much anxiety about this test. He said, look, he goes, the reality is, because we were talking about football or something. Mm-hmm. And he was an LSU guy, and he was trying to remember some great players at LSU. And I was like, so I'm not the only one that forgets. You're forgetting too. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, you look at it this way. He said, the older you get, it just takes you a little bit more time to go through the file to find out that piece of information. He goes, the younger you are, it's a little easier to find because you also haven't built up a big file system yet. Mm-hmm. He said, the older you get, the file system's a little bit bigger, and it takes a little bit longer because, some of the brains, it just takes a little while to go find it. Made me feel better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're used to the Dewey Decimal
totally
System.
Off track there of football, but nonetheless.
Good story.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story.
Good stories. We're back in a moment. Hey, the draft is 2 weeks away, and it's time to celebrate the 5th overall pick with a newly released draft cap. It's harder to speak when you get older, too, Log.
Give me those 5 words again.
Don't miss your chance. Secure one of those limited edition hats, and you can shop in person at the Pro Shop here outside the Miller Electric Center, or head to Jaguars.com and get the exclusive draft cap today. We'll hear from Foye Oluokun when we come back. We'll discuss some draft items. I know you've been watching your film this week.
I have been watching a little bit of that.
We'll get to that when we come back on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. It's Jaguars Happy Hour.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
When it rains, it better drain. If storm drains on your commercial property aren't doing their job, this is a major liability that needs to be corrected. Call Duck Duck Rooter to have your storm drains jetted and cleaned with our powerful vac con truck. We'll clear the way for better drainage. Call 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Duck Rooter, your fully insured certified plumbing and underground utility contractor.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Floridians, do you know how close you are to freshness? It's not a plane or a ship ride away. It's not across an ocean or over the equator. It's not even a far drive. The peak of freshness is at your grocery store, and it's called Fresh from Florida. Fresh from Florida is local produce grown by farmers right here in our own state, meaning it's always fresh, always in season, and always mouth-wateringly good. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo or ask for it by name where you shop.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
We didn't win last year, so I think whatever changes that are coming are accepted because obviously we didn't play up to the standard that we needed. So whatever was going on, if it's you can't really promise more wins, but obviously we needed maybe a new way to attack the season, a new way to attack the off seasons and stuff. So I think everybody's very accepting of everything new that's in store for us. If that equates to more wins.
Foye Oluokun, Jaguars linebacker. Speaking with the media yesterday. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. I'm JP Shadrick.
Did anybody ask him what position he's going to play?
That's Jeff Lageman. No, they did not.
That would have been a great question to ask.
I'm curious if he's going to, not rotate off the field this year.
Oh, jeez.
That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know if I'll ever forget the defensive coaching job from 2024.
Well, we'd like to. At some point, you got to move forward. This is what they're talking about, right? Hey, last year wasn't good enough.
The thing that just was baffling to me last year, as you can see, I'm not over it yet.
This is the time of year, and we're gonna talk through this together.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you take an NFL leading tackler, that's played the Mike position for the last number of years at a very high level, and then move him to a different position? Help me understand that move.
They moved Devin inside, didn't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, look, Devin had some trouble. Mike is the captain of the ship, without question. And Foye is a great leader. By example, vocally, everything. The way he carries himself, the way he works.
The whole deal.
All of it.
Really good free agent signing.
Great signing.
Yes.
Legitimate, great free agent signing. One of the best. And you're going to move him to Will? And I'm not trying to bring Devin Lloyd into the conversation because that shouldn't have any bearing on it whatsoever.
But I think it's why.
But it shouldn't have
I know,
had
but I'm just
any
telling
bearing
you,
on it whatsoever.
I'm just telling you why.
You got that position good. You're good.
I'm just telling you why they tried it.
If Devin doesn't, if he's a better Mike, okay, let's say he's a better Mike than a Will. Not better Mike than Foye, but just a better Mike than he plays at Will. Too bad, okay, because Foye is a really good Mike. And we're not going to take a guy that can maybe be a little better as a Mike to make a guy who's a really good Mike and move him to Will.
You're weakening two positions at that point.
Totally.
Instead of just one.
Totally.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You got one position that's just jam up, leave him there. Figure something out for the next. Okay, I won't bring that up ever again.
Okay, so now.
But until, wait a minute. That question's got to be answered.
At some point, it will be.
Yeah.
It's not the last time we'll hear from Foye.
I mean, the first day
Today was
probably
first
a
day
little
back
early.
Culture, everybody's excited. You know.
But I would wish somebody had asked him that question because, I mean, you could tell last year, Foye was just – he'd get asked the question about the position switch, and you could just – I mean, look, I've read between the – I mean, I played the game, and you can just tell when a player's not very happy.
Yeah. But he's the type of guy that's going to
He's a team
say
guy.
the right things.
But he was
do
like
all that.
biting his inside of his lip. You know, you could just tell that it was not a comfortable situation for him.
No.
And he didn't play as well last year because he was out of position. Anyway, that's just me on a rant there.
Alas.
What was our defensive coordinator's name last year? I'm just kidding. I don't want to know. That file, I threw it away. You know how I was trying to retrieve it?
I don't know. You were still opening it there for a second. I mean.
Well, it's just because, look, I want Foye to be at his best. And when he's at his best has been when he has been playing Mike. And he's a good football player. And the most impressive thing about him is his stamina, which is comparable to nobody. I don't want to say nobody. There's some guys that play with great stamina. But he's one of the most impressive guys I've ever seen in that department.
And that was before they took him off the field for 20 snaps a game.
What are we doing? You're trying to get me going, aren't you?
You brought it up. Ryan Nielsen brought it up. He was a defensive coordinator last year.
Yeah. Boy, that was a doozy.
All right. Hey, by the way, there's the schedule at Daly's Place, which cranks back up in May. Teddy swims May 10th. There's been a change, though. T-Pain is out. Kodak Black is in as the headliner May 31st.
All right.
So changes and information, check your email. If you bought through Daly's Place, and Ticketmaster should send you an email for if you're looking for a refund. The ticket is still good.
Is that
for
Shania
show.
Twain?
Shania Twain's later in the year, July 29th.
Nice.
I think that's right around the start of training camp.
All right.
I'd go check that out.
Yeah. I mean, she's been great for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, she's been really good.
She's Canadian, you know.
So does she have to pay tariffs?
I don't know the answer to that. Tickets at dailysplace.com. More show information as well.
Thinking out loud there.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It changes daily, by the way.
I hope we're taxing her on the American dollar she's earning before she returns to Canada.
That's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. We're on 1010XLAM, Jaguars.com. And Jaguars
By the way, people,
YouTube.
relax. Relax.
Right.
We're just having fun.
NFL Draft, 2 weeks from tonight, round 1.
Can't wait. And we're going to have a radio show for that.
Shocking. It happens like every year.
It does. And
breaking news, we're doing something that happens all the time.
Well, you know, we had Baselli on in the past.
Oh, it's a good point.
So
he's an executive now, so you got to schedule out time with him way in advance.
Are we gonna get him in some capacity?
I could
for
see
the
it like
draft?
maybe like post pick maybe.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm just talking out loud too.
Maybe we can get some inside information for our radio broadcast.
I doubt that highly.
Why not?
He's like a vault.
He's a vault?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
I thought maybe that, you know.
You have a closer relationship.
I just thought maybe he throws.
I don't even know the guy.
He throws a bone, right? You know, I mean.
Throws a bone, Tone.
Come on.
I don't even know him. I don't know this Tony.
You don't know that guy?
I don't know this Tony.
He's changed?
He's changed
Totally
a
changed.
whole lot. Not even the same guy.
Oh.
Not even close.
What's the famous song?
There's a lot of famous songs.
It's Joe Fortunato would know this. It's a song. Sometimes I go to parties, sometimes until 4, and he talks about people change. I haven't changed.
Oh, you're talking about Joe Walsh.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Life's been good
I
to
was
me
trying
so
to find
far.
that folder, JP.
Yeah, I found it faster than you did.
Well, you're younger than me. You're
I'm
supposed
much
to
younger.
find it.
You can say that again. I am much younger.
You're getting old now.
I am.
You're getting old.
Let's come back in a moment. We'll have our final thoughts if we can find them.
We'll
get our
do
final
a search.
thoughts.
We'll do a folder.
We got 3
folder
minutes
search.
to find some
I wonder
thoughts.
if we can use AI to help out this whole folder finding stuff.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
On 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube, this is Jaguars Happy Hour.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game. The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, my name is Charlie Jordan, and I'm the manager of social media for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So as manager of social media, we serve as a bridge between the fans and the franchise. And so my passion is rooted in being a fan, but I also get to work with the team each day. The Bright Future Scholarship was huge for me because I was able to pursue an education at the University of Florida. And because I didn't have to worry about paying for classes, I could spend my time covering the sports teams that I work around. I'm extremely grateful for the Bright Future Scholarship and the Florida Lottery specifically for allowing me to earn an education.
Want to make sure he gets to the game on time?
Tommy, your uniform is ready. Let's go.
Install a natural gas dryer, and you're guaranteed faster drying times and softer laundry. And now you can earn a valuable cash rebate up to $200 on an energy-efficient natural gas dryer. Show your home love with natural gas, and it loves you right back. To learn more and how to qualify, visit peoplesgas.com/rebates.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Before we can do anything, we've got to be able to show them at least we care, right? We care first. And we care about not only the success of the organization, but also the development of the player. And when they know that, hey, we're here to truly help see you become the best version of yourself, both on and off the field, once we establish those lines, start to have more intimate conversations, well, that's usually when you feel them start to maybe let the guard down and say, okay, hey, I'm open to hearing maybe a new way of learning or a different way of doing this, and vice versa for coaches as well.
Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach, yesterday, full media availabilities with he and Trevor Lawrence, plus Foye Oluokun at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. Welcome back to Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. We're at the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. And Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Logs, I care about you, man. Just know that first, and then we can move forward.
Great, I appreciate that.
To draft talk.
Appreciate that. So that'll help us have a better working relationship.
That's right.
Okay, great.
We're going to start with a good foundation.
Great.
And know we're all on the same page, and then we can move forward.
Right.
That's what they're doing. That's why, and I kid some, but that this time of year and the first meetings for the coaching staff in front of the team, those first impressions, they go a long way. And we heard a lot, in the aftermath of last season, that some of the new staff that had come in, we heard pretty quickly in the aftermath of it that, okay, we kind of knew early this was going to be an interesting year.
Yeah,
so that's why these are so important right now.
It was a little rocky to start with last year, from what we understood, and that it didn't really get much better. So, look, there's only one first impression, and I think and that goes both ways now.
Absolutely,
from the coaches to the players, and from the players to the coaches. So I think but it's not the only chance to make an impression. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of more opportunities through your hard work, dedication, the kind of person you are, the kind of work ethic that you carry, how you try to bring others with you, and to raise others around you, raise the level of others around you. So, look, I'm looking forward to the off-season stuff. I'm looking forward to the OTAs. I understand that we're going to be able to maybe take a peek
at a few, I think,
at more OTAs than we have in the past, which is great. Because, look, football science is not something that should be so secretive. I mean, people know what you're going to do. Come on. You don't need to have this seclusion, this cloud of secrecy around what you're doing. And if they're, and especially with a new staff, I mean, you would think that they would want to have some of that, but it's football. It's not rocket science.
I mean, you also don't want to just open up the gates all the time, right?
No. I mean, yeah, you don't want to have media guys out there watching you lift weights or something like that. But the practices, look, I've always been a big believer in this, and that as athletes and performers, you perform in front of people, you play in front of people. So why not try to create anything that can be similar to that, and as often as you can? I remember some of the best practices that I ever had in training camps were the ones that were going against other teams, and the public was there to watch. It kind of creates a heightened level of awareness and a heightened level of intensity. And so any way that you can try to elevate that, I think, is a positive.
Was that the same when they had the pads off against the Bucs last year?
What in the world was that?
I'm just asking.
So there you go.
I'm just asking.
You're trying to take me down that road again.
I'm just asking a question.
I'm not.
Did that happen that day?
I'm not biting.
Was that an elite practice?
I'm not biting.
Was that an elite in front of fans?
No, I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to bite.
NFL practice.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not. Nope.
I'm bumping the bait, man.
Players,
I'm bumping it.
They needed to get refreshed, JP, and ready for the game. Okay, it was smart. Getting ready for a long season.
Physical camp, though.
That was baffling. But yeah, I'm not going down that road. I'm not. Yeah, no.
I'm trying to get you to turn left down the road.
I'm not going to take a left. I'm going to stay right.
Okay. Well, in that case, we're 2 weeks away.
Fork in the road. I'm staying to the right.
You're going to take it.
I'm staying to the right.
NFL draft 2 weeks out. Where are you now at number 5? What is your depends on the 4 ahead. I get it, but what do you really want right now? Don't tell me a really good football player. Give me a name.
I could give you a bunch of names. Brandon Graham. I could give you the tackle out of LSU. What's his name?
Yeah.
Banks, the tackle out of Texas.
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell out of LSU. Travis Hunter. He's there at 5. Take him.
If he's there at 5,
take him.
Yeah. You run to the.
I don't. It's and I think that's partly the problem. Some of the best players in this draft are not necessarily being talked about. So first off, like the quarterbacks. Mm. If the position didn't merit the importance, would these two guys be at the top?
We have this a lot of years. We have this conversation, right?
It's kind of like running back, right? Running back's been devalued. Quarterback has been really amped up in value, right? So we're talking about 2 quarterbacks at the top of the draft. But we're not talking about Jenny at the top of the draft because he's a running back. Mm-hmm. So, it's just everybody has values assigned to different things. Offensive linemen, okay, big guys, foundational players want to get the running game better, right? Well, natural way to do that, get better offensive linemen, right? Create competition. So could they go offensive lineman? The tackle out of Texas, good player. Tackle out, and let me just say this about when I talk about players. I don't know if these guys if their intelligence is, A-level rocket science or box of rocks. I don't know. Okay, I just watched the film. Okay, I don't know if these guys are the kind of guy that I would want to have marry my daughter, or are they the kind of guy that deserve to be locked up? I don't know. I can't tell all of that when I watch the film. I just watched the film. And there's some good offensive linemen on film. The tackle out of Ohio State who had an injury last year. Mm-hmm. He might be the most talented offensive lineman of all of them. Great athlete. The tackle, Membo.
Missouri, you talking about?
I mean, talk about an athlete. I don't know if he's a tackle, though. Probably a guard.
Is he better than the Missouri tackle we got last year? Foster?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not even close. Okay. I mean, Javon Foster struggled to even, I think, get active on game day.
I don't know if he maybe once or twice.
Maybe. I mean, he's got a long way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. Okay. But there's some great offensive linemen. This
is the scenic route to the answer to the question I asked.
I don't have an answer. I told you this last week, and I'm still sticking by my guns. And it was interesting because I was reading one of the general manager's comments today, and he was talking about there is probably going to be less trade activity in this draft just because there's not most likely going to be as many teams wanting to move up. And the general manager talked about how you can probably get a player, I think is the comment that he used, in the second round that's probably about the same as the fourth round. I think the first round is kind of similar in that you've got those elite players at the top, and then once you get past them, you have some players that are kind of all together. And so there's more than likely going to be some teams looking to trade down, and which is what I said from the beginning, that I would love to see this team trade down. But I know what you're going to ask. You can't trade down, and you got to make a pick. Who was drafted at 1, 2, 3, 4 before I make a pick?
Well, I didn't ask you that. I asked you what would you like. What would
I'd like a Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
Okay,
that's going to go.
Is there a Hall of Fame offensive lineman of those guys you talked about?
I think they're really good. I don't think there's a Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
Okay, well then you're in the wrong draft for that.
Well, I mean, you got to make a pick, right? I mean, and you want to get better running the football. You're
going running back?
No, I'm not going running back.
I thought you were about to say running back.
No. I'm not going running back. Okay. I mean, there's some offensive linemen that are really good in that draft. Graham's a really good player.
Mason Graham, defensive tackle.
What happens if Shadrick Sanders is there at 5?
Ooh. You probably get – now you're talking about trading down.
Could you?
In theory.
Could you?
Maybe. But why is he sliding?
I don't know.
That'll be a question.
I don't know. Maybe some teams are scared of drafting him because of the Dion effect.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think it's an interesting conversation. And I think the most interesting conversation is, look, everybody expects this football team to maybe go, I think, on first class. Most people either Brandon Graham or offensive line, right? Mm-hmm. Most people are thinking that. And that's where if you look at all the mocks, you see that kind of happening with the Jaguars quite often. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know. But here's the thing. We have no track record on James Gladstone.
No idea.
0. Okay? All I know, give me some player that is intangibly rich, that's going to fit in the ecosystem, and that's a perennial Pro Bowler, and if he's Hall of Fame caliber guy, eventually, awesome.
That's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew, Brent Reber, David Cho, Joe Fortunato, our timekeeper, Tyler Stidham, and William Pease on the digital side. Thanks for listening to Jaguars Happy Hour.